Alrighty, here's my little story. Oh! I was turning around. Oh, dear. Okay, there you are. A few years ago, you see, I was assigned to this little village.
Nope, my normal way to handle this is obviously not working. So I'm gonna nostalgia critic the crap out of this. Hello there, I'm Tricky Fox, and I'm remembering it because I was paid to do so. What did I do to deserve this? I'm opening up video commissions so you can ask me to review whatever you want. You could have asked me to review Frozen, Lion King or any of the good Disney movies, but instead I get to review The Scarecrow, an animated movie released in the year 2000 and produced by the studio that is also responsible for The Swan Princess and its sequels. The Swan Princess has sequels? Why? Do you really think the first one was so good that you have to franchise it? How many sequels are we even talking about? Oh my god. In any case, The Scarecrow is based upon a short story named Feathertop, which was written by the guy who wrote The Scarlet Letter. It's about, you guessed it, a scarecrow coming to life. And it's about the only thing this movie has in common with its source material. But maybe I'm unfair to it. Frozen has nothing to do with Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale either, so maybe it's still a good movie? No, it isn't. Now we start things off with this irritating old lady that constantly breaks the fourth wall and serves as some sort of narrator. For like the first 10 minutes. It's pointless, it's annoying, and confusing.
I won't jump around no more. I promise. Back to the hill, please. Rewind. Hold it.
Yeah, she jumps forward and backwards a couple of times, which makes it rather hard to follow. But to boil down the essentials, her name is Miss Bibi, she's a witch, accidentally reveals this fact to an evil dance-obsessed count, then goes into hiding at a nearby shack. And since she can't reveal her presence to anyone, she gives life to a scarecrow. Instead of, just going away. Really, what's keeping her there? She can't talk to anyone because they would hunt her away. She lives at the dump, and a couple of years later, she leaves anyway. It's not like she actually helped anyone in all the years she was hiding, and the townfolks could have needed the help of a self-proclaimed good witch. You see, the Count saves orphans and those in debt to him, which basically means everyone in that godforsaken town. But they can buy themselves free with 13 pieces of silver. Among the enslaved townsfolk is a girl named Polly who is gathering the money to buy herself and a couple of orphans free. Because of course there are a bunch of sad little orphans. And if that wasn't enough, Not Belle over here actually caught the attention of the Count, who is almost as obsessed with her as with himself. Oh yeah, all that money Polly saves up over the years, she hides it in front of the Scarecrow and she always talks with it while doing so, not being aware that the Scarecrow is alive. And over the years the Scarecrow, pretending to be a lifeless object, falls in love with her. And what does Miss Bibi do? She abandons the Scarecrow she gave life to because she figures it is only a matter of time until he blows it and reveals himself to Polly, which would result in people hunting her down. Also, she talks the entire time about giving your own life for someone else, but as soon her own life is in danger, she abandons any and everyone. God, she's a bitch! She knows that the Scarecrow will get himself killed eventually, and that's why she leaves, so no one gets her. Heck, she is perhaps the most selfish witch I have ever seen. Now the Count figures out that Polly wants to buy her own freedom, and since he wants to marry her, you would think that someone as petty as he is would have higher standards than a poor commoner, sends his minion to look for her money. And just look at this design and tell me you're not annoyed already. You know the best thing about him, his stomach apparently has more control over him than his brain.
All right, take it easy, Melvin. Please settle down, would you? No. Polly's gonna be here any second. I swear. Whoa! What century were you coming back?
And I have to put up with this fucking character for the entire movie. Now he follows Polly to the farm where she hides the money and the Scarecrow shows himself to him to protect the money. To this movie's credit, it gives us this beautiful scene.
What's to count on? You're a scarecrow! The whole town's gonna find out. They'll rip you to pieces. Let 'em rip.
You don't want this jar. Because I am one bad scarecrow.
Please, can we meme this? He tries so hard to be cool. Let them rip! One bad Scarecrow! Scarecrow decides to risk it and to go into town to bring the money back to Polly, figuring that it will be safe at her place. But things go wrong when the money is stolen by the Count's falcon. Because of course he has a trained falcon. And the Scarecrow is chased out of town by the Count's minions. Before anyone can get a good look at him though, he arrives at his shack, where it turns out Miss BB actually left behind a magic feather that can grant wishes, and we get this exchange.
If your wish was for greater wisdom, press 1 now.
What?
If your wish was for eternal youth, press 2 now.
Need to look like a human.
If your wish was to become human, press 3 now. Oh, trading in the sticks, eh, Scarecrow?
Come on, it's magic. You don't have to do this recorded message crap. Also, I don't think that this counts as BB helping the Scarecrow, as she never told him about the feather, and this was just a lucky accident. Now the Scarecrow manages to disguise himself as a human thanks to the feather, so everyone thinks the stupid minion is crazy. Also, he names himself Feathertop now. You know, like the story this atrocity is based on. But when you remove the feather from his head, he turns back and he still has the reflection of a Scarecrow, so he has to avoid everything that mirrors. Keep that in mind. Feathertop then decides that he wants to get the money back for Polly, to the protest of his friends the Talking Mouse and BB's Flying Broom. Oh yeah, I think I forgot mentioning them up to this point. They are basically Yago and Carpet from Aladdin, and that's basically all you need to know about them. And when they leave, we get this great piece of information.
Whoa! You must have touched the feather or something. Careful, Scarecrow. You don't want to miss the most important part, do ya? Now look. Real life will only be yours when you're willing to give your life for another. That's all I can tell you. But goodbye, Scarecrow, and good luck!
Now, guess how the movie will end? Yeah, subtlety obviously isn't this movie's greatest strength. Heck, some stuff about true love would have been vaguer than this. So, to get the money Polly needs, Feathertop dresses his mouse friend in a drag and forces him to dance in front of the crowd as Maxine the dancing mouse. You know, the whole thing would have been much more entertaining if we got Pennywise the dancing clown instead. In case you haven't noticed it by now, the entire movie is about dancing. There are also several song numbers and most of them are bland and you forget about them as soon as they end. Only this one is at least somewhat catchy. The worst thing about this is, however, that he completely steals the show and distracts from the mouse he's promoting. So forcing his best and only friend to dress up as a drag queen didn't help anyone. Yeah, now I get the feeling that Feathertop is a bit of a selfish show-off. Also, maybe if it was about the dancing mouse, he would have gotten some money out of it. He didn't earn a single penny. Well, not that it matters, because immediately after the song ends, the Countsman announces a dance contest and offers the stolen money as a prize. Okay, I don't know if it is the stolen money, but the same amount, so it doesn't matter. Only catches, it's a contest for dance couples. Now I guess this is the point where I have to explain the evil plan of the Count. You see, Miss BB was originally the Count's dance instructor, and when she accidentally revealed her identity as a witch to him, he got a glimpse at her spellbook. He only got a short look at it, but it was enough to learn a magic dance that forces everyone he dances with to fall in love with him. And now his great idea is to take advantage of Polly's desperate situation to get her compete as his partner, because with him as a partner she is basically guaranteed to win. So if it wasn't for the random Scarecrow showing up, she would have probably accepted his offer. They would dance and she would have been hypnotized by his dance. as stupid as the whole setup is, this actually makes some sense. I mean, his goal is rather petty. He only wants to marry a peasant girl. So this plan is completely adequate for that purpose. Now, of course, Polly was smitten by Feathertop's dance performance and rather wants to compete with him, because this is how this kind of story works. They meet up and practice together, but then the Count shows up.
I see. Well, that's great. You kids are gonna have the time of your life. We're gonna have music and punch and lots of crackers with those little cheesy swirls on them. All right. Okay then. We'll see you there.
If there's one good thing about this movie, then it is the self-loving man-child. Well, of course he doesn't just leave and accepts this. Instead he does what every reasonable man would do in this situation and tries to murder Feathertop. Though when Feathertop is actually at his mercy, he only gives him a warning to leave the town instead of finishing the job. Even weirder, it appears like he actually succeeded in intimidating Feathertop because for some reason he is late for the actual contest. So since Polly is out of the option, she agrees to dance with the Count and his spell seems to work. She's about to fall in love with him when...
I think I want to marry you.
Let's talk about it after a final spin out.
Feathertop?
What?
Sorry I'm late.
Where the fuck were you? You had an entire day to decide whether to show up or not. So yeah, a dance battle ensues with both the Count and the Scarecrow fighting over Polly. Now obviously Polly and Feathertop win at the end, but there are two problems I have with this scene. Number 1. Technically Polly entered the contest with the Count, so in theory Feathertop shouldn't have been allowed to compete with her. But okay, I can handwave this one. Number 2. Have you noticed that the dance floor is seemingly polished to a mirror sheen? You can actually see everyone's reflection on the floor. It is a rather odd detail to include when one of the most important plot points in this movie is our protagonist looks human but has the reflection of a Scarecrow, especially when he slides over the ground in front of an audience. You would think that at least one of them would notice that this reflection looks a little bit strange. You would think that the movie would at least get that small detail right. Though I suppose this might have been the animator's fault. Now, like I said, obviously Polly and Feathertop win. They confess their love and we get the most romantic proposal ever.
I love you. You do? I mean, how do you mean that? More than bagels and cream cheese?
I've never had a bagel, but I'm sure it's more.
Marry me then.
Yes. When?
In the morning?
At the chapel.
It's a deal. I mean, it's a forever romantic kind of deal. Whatever.
But immediately afterwards, he is forced in front of the Count, and for some reason, Feathertop thinks he can just leave after telling him that he's going to marry Polly. You would think that he would know better than that. In any case, he tries to make his escape, but is captured anyway. The Count takes his feather, using it to disguise himself as Feathertop, because apparently the feather is working for anyone, and plans to burn Feathertop. However, the talking mouse and the flying broom manage not only to rescue the Scarecrow, but also to get back the magical feather before the Count can do anything funny with it. He tries to force her to marry him anyway, but fails as a local priest sticks to his guts. That guy has some balls, I gotta give him that. Obviously this doesn't sit well with the Count, who shortly afterwards throws a little tantrum.
Humiliation! Again! Oh! I'm gonna do a bad thing!
Now, sir, I'm sure Miss Polly...
That Polly will never leave alive.
Oh, no.
But how? How? I'm open to ideas, Woody. Woody!
Frankly, I'm more excited for Detective Pikachu than Toy Story 4. Woody makes it to Polly and advises her to leave the town immediately with the Count's stolen carriage. But the Count figures out that the only way out of town is a bridge and has his men sabotaging it, so Polly will fall to her death. In the meantime, the mouse manages to convince the Scarecrow that he can't marry Polly and that they should leave, but the broom then informs Woody about the Count's plan. He rushes over to the bridge, has a small climactic fight with the Count, and then sacrifices himself so the bridge holds together just long enough that Polly can cross. And he dies. Nah, kidding. Of course, since he sacrificed himself for someone he loves, He not only miraculously survives, he also gets turned into a real boy. Not that he immediately realizes that. He is actually about to confess to Polly that he is the Scarecrow until he notices that the feather is missing. And then they marry and have a dance party ending, because it's an animated movie. And he never tells her that he's actually a Scarecrow, which is kinda weird.
So, that's my little story. Looks like everything's squared away around here. Oh, wish I could stay, but there's got to be someone somewhere who needs a helping hand. After all, that is what it's all about.
Fuck you, you didn't help anyone. And that was a Scarecrow. Is it any good? Well, not really. It's stupid, but in the end, harmless. The only thing I generally liked was the Count because he was so damn cheesy that it's hard not to laugh at him. He shoots the scenery every time he shows up. I wouldn't call him a great villain, but he is fun to watch. Of course, I can also see that other people find him more annoying. I don't really care about any other character, as they are rather bland or stupid, or stupidly bland. The story and animation are, in the end, merely serviceable and nothing to write home about. I think there's nothing wrong with children watching this movie. It would have been enough to keep my attention for 80 minutes when I was 6 years old, I guess, but you can find much better. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're looking for a movie to joke about, this movie has just the right amount of stupid for that. Though I would recommend a cup of beer to go with it. And with that being said, stay foxy.
Sly as a fox, you got me under your spell. But you know I'll never tell that I know you know so well. Sometimes you can be too smart for your own